Time to hang out with my sister girl. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films. And guys, I am so sorry this review is so freaking late. I really ain't got no excuse. I just been kind of tired and didn't feel like recording. So we are picking right back up on season 3 of Love is Blind Brazil part 2, which is going to be episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. Obviously, y'all know who I'm starting with, Bianca and Jarbas. Jarbas got a chance to video call Bianca's sister, and she was like super supportive, really excited to meet Jarbas in person. Bianca was talking about how sad it was because she hasn't seen her sister in 2 years because her sister lives, I think she said she lives in Barcelona. I can't remember, but she doesn't live in Brazil. And so she was really sad about that because her and her sister and her family overall are really close. You know, but her sister is supportive and cannot wait to meet Jarbas. She's super excited for her sister. Bianca meets Jarbas's mom, and Jarbas is clearly a mama's boy, honey. Like, immediately, I was like, oh no, this is probably gonna be a whole nother Will from season 2 situation, honey, where the mama is pulling the strings. But it actually was not. Jarbas, his mom was super sweet. She was kind of like, I don't know about all this, but she really seemed to like Bianca. I thought it was interesting that his sisters and even his mom, they were like redheads, and I was like, this kind of makes sense. It all was coming together. I was like, Bianca looks like she would fit in their family, which might be kind of weird, but you know, they did seem to like her. So in episode 6, Bianca meets Jarbas's friends, and so they meet at this place that's like a part like eatery, but then also has a tattoo shop in it. I was very confused as to what I was looking at. So is this like an auto shop? Like, what is this place? But his friends really liked her. So they were kind of surprised about the whole, you know, process, and they were a little skeptical, but overall, you know, they didn't really have any concerns about Bianca. And they were just like, you know, this is kind of crazy, but we support our boy. You know, we know he'll make a good decision, and she seems like a cool girl. And so while they were there, Bianca ended up getting a tattoo of the door number of the pod where they got engaged, and it took a little bit of convincing, but eventually Jarbas ended up getting a tattoo as well. So they have matching tattoos now. I'm sick of them. They are just too sweet to me, okay? And then in episode 7, we see that Bianca meets Jarbas's daughter and her mom, so the baby mama and the daughter. Now y'all might not agree with me, okay? But I'm kind of torn about how soon some of these couples were introducing their kids to their fiancés. I just feel like, in my opinion, it's too soon to be introducing kids. Like, I know y'all are all excited and seeing hearts in your eyes and looking with rose-colored glasses, but y'all still don't know if y'all gonna say yes to each other on wedding day. Y'all just don't even know that. Like, yeah, right now y'all are screwing every day and everything seems all great and butterflies, but anything could happen and y'all might decide that y'all don't want to get married. Even though I thought it was sweet that, you know, Bianca got to meet Jarbas's daughter, and the little girl, she's so stinking cute. So, she was so stinking cute, and I loved how the mom was so like welcoming and made sure that she met Bianca, because girl, I know that's right. She said, you gonna be around my baby. Hell, her daddy just met you. He barely know you, so let me make sure I meet you first. And I loved how she was like, well, here, y'all can have her. Y'all can have her for the day. I'm out. I know that's right, mama. Go have your me time, okay? So everything was good, you know, with the visit, with the daughter and the mom. And so Bianca was feeling really good about everything. And then so fast forward to the dress fitting. Bianca, you know, had a really emotional experience at the fitting, just because she didn't really feel like this time would ever, you know, really come for her and getting married and things like that. She really wanted to share her experience with Jarbas, but at the groom's tux fitting, he got a little tipsy. He had a little way too much to drink. And so by the time Bianca got home, Jarbas was drunk. And because he was drunk, he was being like a little snippy and a little snide. And so he really wasn't listening. He tried to, you know how people, y'all know how drunk people try to like, okay, I'm sober, I'm listening. What you got to say? You're not sober. You're not listening to me. Like, don't try to have a serious conversation with me, drunk person. So that's what Jarbas tried to do with Bianca. And she was just not feeling it. And she was just like, you know, I thought he was just such a great, perfect guy, but now, you know, I feel like I'm seeing the real him, and I'm just having sex. Girl, really? Really? I feel like this whole scene was really kind of like hyped up by production, because it was such a small thing, and up until this point Jarbas and Bianca have been fine, and so all of a sudden we got beef over this one thing. It felt forced. I wasn't here for it, but luckily they got over it, child. By breakfast they were just fine, honey. So after all of that fake conflict, honey, child, Jarbas got to meet Bianca's friends, and of course they really liked him. You know, they thought he was handsome. They were very happy for her. They really liked their chemistry. And Jarbas even met Bianca's son, and the rest of her family. Again, I was not in favor of him meeting her son, but you know, that's what they chose to do. I ain't mad at it. Now, Bianca's parents were not initially happy with the idea of her being engaged and all that. They just felt like it was rushed and they just doing way too much too soon. But eventually they ended up coming around, and, you know, we're happy for her, and they were looking forward to the wedding. So Jarbas and Bianca, again, they're still doing great. I hate that they tried to fake some conflicts for conflict's sake. I don't think we need, if there's no conflict to be had, why are we creating fake drama? They're good. I feel like they're gonna say yes, and I hope that they are still together. We will know in a couple days when we get to the weddings and all the things. So let's go ahead and move on to Dani and Daniel, the Dannys, honey. Now, at the end of my recap of part 1, I was saying how I was picking up some red flags about Miss Dani, honey. In particular about her being very like, kind of bossy, right? And kind of wanting things her way. Lo and behold, here we go. So, first things first, Daniel forgot to put on his damn wedding ring. I'm like, sir, we're starting off on a bad foot already. How are you forgetting to put on your not his wedding ring, but his engagement ring? Like, how are you forgetting that? And he's like, oh my God, I was rushing to get over here to you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot about it. And Dani was like, sound like it happened again. This is the second time she'd had to check him about something, okay? So I'm gonna need Daniel to get it together, because Dani, she speaks her mind, honey, and she's not gonna mince words with him, and she's not the one to be played with. In fact, she has no problems with nagging him about the amount of sweets that he eats. That was getting on my damn nerves. Now, me, I am a girl that loves sweets. I love chocolate. So I was bonding with Daniel in that moment. Because if you, baby, don't tell me there are cookies in the cabinet. And don't expect me to traipse over there and get me one. I don't care how much damn candy I done had up to this point. You leave me the hell alone. Let me get one of them damn cookies. Okay? So I was feeling Daniel and his frustration when Dani kept, you know, going on and on about what he was eating. They slept in the living room at Dani's request, and she was mad at him because she wanted to stay up all night talking and he went to sleep. Girl, y'all are grown. Y'all are really grown. At a certain age, we're not doing sleepovers. We're not staying up to the wee hours in the morning, braiding each other's hair, watching scary movies, eating popcorn. Baby, it's 9 o'clock. I got to go to sleep. I don't have time to be nuzzled up, snuggled up, having conversations. No. And so that just came off as so immature to me. And then she was talking about walking around naked in her apartment, and she don't care about closing the blinds because the neighbors got to deal with it. It's her place. Everything was just like, this is so childish. Everything you're doing right now is blowing me right now. Girl, I need you to please grow up. Please. Dani ends up meeting Daniel's mom, but his mom was really, really, really sweet. Like, she was so sweet. You can tell that his family is probably like really close. You know, she really liked Dani, and she, you know, wasn't 100%, you know, on board with everything, but you know, she was supportive of Daniel. So it's Daniel's birthday, and so Dani put together a surprise. Y'all, was I the only one that was like, why is this a surprise? Like, you literally, it's my birthday. You have all of our friends from the pods all together in one place. Like, when I walked in, everybody was excited to see me and hugging me. And then, surprise, with the cake and the balloons, like, it's kind of a lackluster surprise, you know, in my opinion. But, you know, he was still happy, though, that she acknowledged his birthday, you know, which is sweet, and we love to see it. Daniel's surprise birthday party was a hit. And so later on, we see Daniel meets Danny's parents via video call. And Danny's father is really sick. So that's why they couldn't be there, because her mom is taking care of her dad. And so after seeing Danny's dad, it kind of made a lot more sense to me at that point why she was like so on Daniel about eating healthy and having a healthy lifestyle. Because I can imagine, I don't know what exactly is happening with her father, but I can imagine it's probably really difficult to see her dad, you know, being sick and her mom having to take care of him. So I would imagine that's probably what makes her be very much like conscious about health and healthy eating. So that made a lot more sense to me seeing that. But then Daniel does get to meet all of Danny's siblings. There's like 9,000 of them. And they were like celebrating because she's finally engaged. She called herself, she was like, I'm the family spinster. Like, nobody ever thought I was going to get married. And so everybody was like super excited. So obviously Danny's family is like excited because they're ready to get her married off. So I thought that was pretty funny. So back at the dress fitting, Danny's dress, I loved it. Her dress was the only one I liked. It fit her so great. It was beautiful. And maybe it's because it's just like the style of wedding dress that I really liked. But I thought her dress was beautiful. To me, it was like the best of the bunch, honey. Overall, the Dannys, they're doing surprisingly well for me. I do feel like Danny does some really immature stuff, and Daniel is just kind of dealing with it, but I feel like they are going to make it, and I think they'll be okay. Unless something crazy, you know, kind of pops off in part 3, the final part of the season, I think they might get married. I'm saying that surprisingly because I expected them to have a lot more drama, and I thought he was going to be a lot more chauvinistic and things like that. But no, I am pleasantly surprised by the Dannys. Okay, let's go ahead and go on over to Karen and Valmir. Jesus. Okay. So Karen, she likes to get under Valmar's skin, and I find it to be kind of annoying. So when we ended episode 4, it kind of ended with Karen making a statement of like, cheers to being the runner-up or some shit like that. And so we follow back up with that right in episode 5, and Valmir was like, nobody was a runner-up. Like, why are you saying that? And Karen was like, oh, I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. She's like, I'm a runner-up and Valmir is my runner-up. And I just kind of think it's funny. Valmir did not find it to be funny. And he said, you know, I don't appreciate that she said that because I really do love Karen and I'm happy that I picked her and she is not a second runner-up for me. And when he said that, I was just like, okay, Valmir. Okay, I see you. I'm also not questioning, you know, your feelings for Karen either. I was at first, but you know, you seem to be very serious about her. And so once they got their cell phones back and moved into the shared apartment, number one, Karen was kind of being a Karen. She's being very aggravating. I don't know why these people don't know how to take care of their house and do laundry and cook and stuff, but they were struggling with the washing machine. And so as they were sitting down talking about their social media, come to find out, Karen dated someone that Valmir went to school with. So he seemed like he had like a little bit of a issue with that, but I'm just like, bruh, she's gonna have a life before she met you, so pipe down. It's okay. Like, she could have dated somebody. It's just somebody you went to school with. Like, calm down. But something that he was irritated by was the fact that Italo was sliding in Karen's DMs, honey. Like, once they got off the pods, I guess he sent our girl Karen a friend request, and he's been DMing her on Instagram. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but apparently there was a lot of social media drama that was happening once everybody got the pots and got their phones back. They toured each other's places, and so when Karen saw Valmir's place, she was just like, just instantly disgusted. Like, she called his place like a fuck pad. She refused to sit on stuff. She was like, we're not keeping this couch. She saw some stains on it. Ew, what is that? Like, very, to me, very like degrading type of comments. Like, yes, he's been a bachelor and all that, and it's not unrealistic to think that he hasn't been sleeping with women before he met you. Girl, he just met you 2 weeks ago in the damn pod. But the way she was just kind of treating his place, although he did have some sketchy shit in there, it just kind of felt like a little bit over the top. And I felt like, dang, he kind of was trying to proudly show off his little man apartment, and she just was like, ew, it's dirty. And I don't blame her, you know, get a new bed, you know, ain't no telling what he been doing. But I just kind of feel like it speaks volumes about what she thinks about Valmir, and that she probably thinks he's a little bit of a man whore, which could be true or not, I don't know, but I feel like her reaction was a little bit over the top. And so Karen says, you know, she suspects everyone until they give her a reason to trust them. Girl. You proposed to this man, let's be clear. So at this point, he should have given you enough for you to want to propose to him. So I thought that was a kind of a strange thing to say. Like, if you've been hurt that much, and if you're that kind of like jaded when it comes to love, why did you come on this damn show? That was a little annoying to me. But in episode 6, we see that Karen gets to meet Valmir's family, and we get to meet his, I forget if she like 95, she was in her 90s, but his sweet grandmother. And Valmir's family was so sweet. They were just a sweet, wholesome family. His grandmother, you could tell that maybe she had some health issues or something that was going on, because she wasn't necessarily like energetic, but it didn't seem like she was, you know, doing too bad. But, you know, you could tell that Valmir was really close to her. And so, you know, everything went well with the family visit. And then we end on a cliffhanger with Valmir getting a phone call, and we know that something is possibly not going to be good on the other end of that phone. I suspected it was the death of a family member, just based on his reaction. Valmir's grandmother passed away, so rest in peace to her. And she was 99 years old, y'all. I'm glad, I thought I wrote her age down in my notes. She was 99. So, you know, it's sad to lose a loved one, especially a grandparent, but 99 years of living, that's a lot of living, honey. And she was surrounded by, you know, looks like family that really loved her and things like that. So, you know, I hope she really lived a blessed life, you know, and getting to see 99 years is a real blessing. And we get to see later in the episode that Valmir gets to meet Karen's parents, and her father was not really feeling the whole experiment and the whole process. And I'm sorry, it wasn't her parents, it was her father and her grandmother, because Valmir was like so excited to see her grandmother because she reminded him of his grandmother. And so in talking to her, he got a little emotional as they were talking. He had to get up and kind of get himself together, which was really sad to see. But Karen's father, you know, while he was not excited with how fast everything is moving and the idea of her being engaged and possibly being married in a few weeks, in a couple weeks, you know, everything went well with the family visits. I specifically put for Karen at the dress fitting, I hated her dress in bold. I hated her dress. I'm not gonna say it was ugly. It just wasn't my type of dress. That's all I'm gonna say. I was not a fan of it. So later on, we see Karen meets Valmir's friends. 2 women, one named Kelly, and she was a bitch. Okay, oh my God. They did a cheers, and they were like, cheers to friendship, cheers to love, and something like that. And then Kelly was like, and I guess cheers to Karen, maybe. Bitch, what? Like, they were really like trying to mean girl Karen, and I wasn't here for it. And then they tried to kind of like justify it by saying, you know, we really love Valmir, and we just want the best for him, and we're really not sure about this, and we really don't know this girl, you know. And fair enough, you don't know her, but to act how Kelly was acting, I'm like, girl, are you in love with Valmir? Like, what is really going on? Okay. Then by the end though, they ended up, you know, I guess kind of accepting Karen and, you know, just saying, you know, we just want what's best for Valmir, and it's nothing, you know, personal towards you, but, you know, we like you so far. Child, if I was Karen, I'm like, bitch, you can take your like and shove it up your, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm on the fence with Karen and Valmir. Here's why. The way Karen talks to Valmir, I feel like it's too much. I feel like she's disrespectful and she's kind of rude to him. So I feel like over time it might come to be a little bit too much for him, and he might decide, you know what? No, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. So I'm kind of on the fence with them if they'll say I do to each other, but we shall see. So let's move on to Maria and Menandro. In episode 5, Menandro meets Maria's family, and Maria is very close to her father. Like, she's a straight up certified daddy's girl. And I thought it was so sweet when Menandro asked her father for her hand in marriage and his blessing, which her father did give. But I thought it was so sweet of Menandro to do that. Now, Maria's mama, on the other hand, although she was sweet to Menandro, she was being very, like, critical to Maria and, like, talking about how she was dressed and all this other stuff. And I was just like, okay. I don't know what's going on there. That might explain why either that explains why Maria is so close to her father, because she's not close to her mama like that, or her mama treats her like that because she's jealous in the relationship she got with her father. I don't know. At Daniel's surprise birthday party, Menandro was kind of joking around with the other women, and Agata and Karen are pretty tall, and Menandro is a pretty short guy. And so they were kind of joking around and saying, you know, can you imagine if we had picked Menandro, like what our reveal would have looked like? And they were kind of, you know, joking around like what it looked like to approach and like their height difference. So Karen made the comment, like something along the lines of her and Menandro wouldn't have been a good match, or it would have been crazy if they would have matched. And Karen was like, hardly, I don't think so. Like, she just took it to heart. And she was so mad, and she was like, I'm ready to leave. So she was ready to leave the party because she felt like Karen's joke was inappropriate. And at first I thought that it was just, felt it was inappropriate for her to make jokes about Menandro's height, but it was more about the joke in general, that if they had matched. So girl, what? And then she started talking about how she felt uncomfortable because Valmir called her gorgeous, and he was looking at her, making her feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, girl, when did any of this happen? Like, not that it, maybe we just didn't see it on camera, I don't know. But Maria, I don't know what's going on with her, but like this obsession in a way with Valmir is a little disturbing to me, honey. But so we move forward, and Maria meets Menandro's daughter. Again, I feel like it's too soon to be meeting the kids. Like, she got to meet the daughter and they was hanging out, but then like the daughter started putting like the lipstick on her face, which was fine, you know, kids do that. And then she sat in her lap, they took a picture together like a family. I felt like it was too soon for all of this. Now with Bianca and Jarbas, that little baby ain't but 2 years old. Child, she still is having object permanence, okay? She still, peekaboo, is blowing her mind, okay? What? Are you still there? Like, she's at that stage, okay? But this little girl I think she's like 6. And I feel like when they're that age, I think that there needs to be more care taken in introducing new adults to your children in that way. But I guess, you know, being around his daughter kind of helped ease Maria's mind in regards to the co-parenting situation and things like that, which I guess was a positive in that aspect. So fast forward to this dress fitting, honey. So first of all, I hated her dress. I hated all the dresses. So this situation though was really, I felt bad for Maria. So Maria had her mom at the dress fitting, and so Maria was like the last one to go, and so her mom up until that point was just crying, was just all emotional when all the other women were coming out in their dresses. And so Maria is like hyped up because, like I said earlier, her mom just seemed like they're not really all that close. And so she's like excited. She's like, I can't wait for my mom's reaction. I know if she's doing all this crying now, she's absolutely gonna cry when she sees me. Baby, Maria came out in that ugly ass dress. And her mom saw it, and her mom instantly was just like, I think it's too revealing. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. And Maria was devastated because she loved that dress and she just really wanted to have like that emotional moment with her mom, and her mom just did not give none of it. No tears, no nothing. So Camilla, you know, was at the dress fitting, and she peeped how Maria's mom was not giving that same energy to Maria, and Camilla called that shit out. Baby, when I tell you, Camilla as a host, that damn Vanessa Lachey, they're right here, honey. There's no comparison. Camilla is that girl. She was like, why aren't you crying for Maria? Like, I noticed a difference. And her mom was like, no, it's not that. I'm happy for her. It's just that I don't know. I think I'm just shocked. Like, no, but I am happy for her. She looks beautiful. And Maria was just heartbroken. And I said, I don't blame her, honey. Maria and her mom, they go to lunch, and child, her mama done blocked her on social media. Specifically, really on WhatsApp. Her mama blocked her on WhatsApp. And Maria is just like, you know, it's going to be kind of awkward. You know, me and my mom don't figure this out, you know, because I still live with my mom. I still live with my parents. So, you know, we got to be able to get to the bottom of our relationship because this is just not okay. They talked about it, and Maria was just like, I was hurt because I was expecting more of a reaction from you. And her mom was just like, and this is what was driving me crazy, because her mom kept like looking at the camera. So I don't know if she was nervous or if her mama might be a little bit of a narcissist. Okay. But, you know, trying to make sure her image was good. She was like, no, I love you. You are my daughter. And I'm just happy for you. And I don't know if it was just the shock of everything. You wasn't shocked when all the other women came out in their dresses. You ain't have no problem. But when Maria come out, all of a sudden, you're bone dry in the eye. And then she asked Maria, well, can I have a hug? And Maria was like, why are you asking me if you can hug me? I'm your daughter. And I was just like, her mama is putting on for these cameras, honey. And I felt bad for Maria in that moment, because to have a mom that acts like that cannot be easy. I don't think Maria and Menandro are going to get married. If they do get married, I don't think they're going to stay married. I think she has some issues she needs to work out, because baby girl got some shit going on with her and she needs to work on it, okay? So last but not least, let's go ahead and get to Renan and Agata. I told you I was going to get their names right, y'all. I was all off last time. So Agata doesn't consider herself jealous, but she will call out things that don't make her comfortable. So like Hanah's relationship with Valmir, and she's kind of questioning that, because she just kind of feels like, why would he be friends with Valmir? You know, birds of a feather flock together type shit. You know, she was like, I see how Karen is with Valmir, and it makes sense because they both kind of crazy. She said, so it kind of makes me wonder, why are you friends with Valmir? Like, is it something I don't know? You know, I don't want to guess nothing. I really don't like him, and I'm trying. And I'm just like, girl, what is really going on? Like, all this energy for Valmir is crazy for me. Hanan just kind of, you know, lets her know, look, I ain't nothing to worry about. Like, Valmir is a good dude. He is fine. I'm not ever going to do anything to make you feel uncomfortable, but I just need you to give him a chance. And she's just like, well, I'm giving him a chance, but it's really hard for me. Like, girl, get over it, please. Getting on my nerves. So when they get their cell phones back, they're looking through videos and pictures in their phone, and Agata sees like a very, I guess, like risque video in Hannah's phone, and come to find out he was like in a music video. But the way she was acting, I'm like, girl, did you find like an OnlyFans video? Because she was just like, it was just so graphic, and it was like, was they having sex in the video? Like, what was happening? And so Hannah was like, you know, it was a music video, but I'm not gonna tell her, and it was my ex. Smart man. Don't even tell her that. Even though this happened way before her, child, she gonna act like it happened yesterday. Annoying. But as she was kind of walking through and looking at Hannah's apartment, they came across like this board, like a dry erase board, and it had an old message that said, "I love you," from his ex. And she got pissed, honey. She was mad. You knew I was coming over here. I don't know why you wouldn't erase that off the board. Like, I feel disrespected. Girl. Okay. Again, you doing way too much, babes. And so Hannah took the board down, and she was like, "Well, don't take it down now. You know, it don't make a difference now." And Hannah was like, "I just don't even know what to do." He was like, "Everything I was doing was just making it worse. I just should have erased it off the board." Like, just being like very apologetic. And I'm like, girl, this shit ain't gonna last with him, because he shouldn't have to put up with that, because that just seems so unreasonable to me. Like, girl, he had a life before you. This man had a whole 20 some odd years of living before he knew you even existed. If he forgot to erase his ex saying, "I love you," that don't mean that he's still pining for her. He still love her. Shit, he probably just forgot the shit was up there. He probably so used to seeing it that he didn't even think none of it. Hannah goes to his family, and he tells them about Agata, you know, and is kind of preparing them for it. And I really love the way him and Agata did this. You know, they kind of talked to their families first, and then they introduced each other to their families. You know, and both of their families were, you know, very supportive. They were excited to meet each other, and there really wasn't anything too, you know, too crazy happening with their families on either side. That's why I just kind of bunched them all in there together. So Agata meets Hannah's friends, and Hannah's friends are all women. Again, honey, I forget what they called themselves, honey. They had a whole name for their little crew. But, you know, they kind of let Agata know, like, the last few girlfriends that Hannah done had, they have scared them off. Like, they don't play about him. They started talking about how Hannah is so popular and how women know him in this place and that place. And he was just like, oh my God. Like, they were doing a whole lot. And I could tell that he was like uncomfortable with it. But you can tell that they have his back. And I can imagine that dating a man, first of all, that's very handsome like Hannah, and then seeing that he has, I think it was 3 or 4 female best friends, will probably be pretty intimidating. So, and especially how like assertive they were and how they were speaking and stuff, I can imagine that they probably have scared off some women. And so I feel like on some level, this kind of speaks to how Hannah doesn't feel comfortable setting boundaries with women, which is why he lets Agata run amok. But anyway, later on, Agata and Hannah are having a discussion, and she brings up the fact that he seems like really closed off, and that he doesn't open up a lot. And, you know, and he said, you know, anything that you've asked me, I've answered it. And he was like, you know, no, I'm not going to just, you know, disclose things, you know, so quickly, because it takes me a while to build up trust with someone. And I just need you to be patient with me. And so she just kind of feels like, well, I'm his fiance and he should just trust me and he should just open. No, Agata, no. You have not created a safe space for that man to open up and be vulnerable with you. You have shown yourself to be slightly controlling, a whole lot jealous, and a little irrational in your emotions. So all of that does not equal a safe space for anybody, man or woman, to be vulnerable emotionally. So I feel like give that man some room, maybe earn his trust, and then he'll open up to you. But right now, honey, you're trying to lead the horse to water and make it drink, and you can't do both. So I need you to sit down and chill out. So I don't know if Agata and Hannah are gonna make it. We'll see what happens in these next few episodes, but I'm on the fence with them. If they don't get married, I think it'll be because Hannah is like, no thank you, you got too many damn issues. So let's go to the drama at this group bridal party shower situation. So who was it? I can't remember what couple. I think it was Dang, I can't remember which couple's idea was. I think it was Dani and Danielle's idea to do the joint bridal party. I can't remember, but they had this cute idea. Like each couple like picked out a bridal gift and they wrapped it up, and then each couple had to select a different gift, and they could either keep it or trade with somebody else. Super cute idea. You know, so everything was pretty much going well for the most part. So they started picking questions out of a bowl. One of the questions was about social media. And honey, they started spilling the beans, honey. This person in the past is messaging this person friend this one, this person did this. It was a mess. It was all over the place. And then so one of the questions was like, is there anyone that you still have unfinished business with or issues with or whatever that you want to talk about? And so Maria was like, you know, well, I might as well, you know, get to it and talk about it. So she talked about how she was still feeling the way about how Valmir talked to her in the pods, and how she felt disrespected when he yelled at her, you know, all this other stuff. And he was like shocked because he was like, I thought we had got past that. Like, I thought we were good. And so he started talking and apologizing to her. And Karen was like, be quiet. It's not your turn to talk. It's Maria's turn to talk. Girl. So Valmir didn't say nothing. He just apologized and let her keep talking, which is crazy to me because I don't know why Karen would disrespect him like that. And Karen was just like, you know, it wasn't Valmir's time to talk, and you know, and she was expressing herself, and he needed to let her say what she needed to say. Child, which I had a huge issue with how she handled that whole situation. I thought it was so disrespectful. And then Maria brought up how one of the girls from the pods had slid into Menandro's inbox, and Menandro was like, what the fuck? And she just brought it up out of nowhere because they were good, and she was like, well, we're here, well, I might as well go ahead and you know, and light the fire. And she brought that up, and he was just like, well, we can talk about this later. Like, why are you bringing this up now? So shit just went real left at this party. And so Menandro and Maria ended up going home, and he was just like, you know, what was all of that about? And she was like, I don't understand why you would, you know, why she messaged you. And he was just like, I didn't ask her to be my friend. Like, once we got back home and social media was open, she sent me a friend request. Like, I can't do anything about that. And I think the girl sent him like a DM, but he never responded to it or something like that. And so she was just acting all crazy. And he was just like, look, I need you to work this out because I have not done anything to you to make you act this way. And I really need you to figure your shit out. And so, you know, Maria's just like, I just don't know about this. And I don't feel comfortable around Valmir, and all this shit. And I'm just like, girl, what is your problem? Maria is unhinged. She is so unhinged. And I think that will be one of the issues and the reason why her and Menandro will not get married. Because she just brought that out of left field for no reason other than the fact that she wanted to start some shit with him. That man was doing nothing minding his business. It looked like he got sucker punched. He was like, what the fuck is this shit about? So yeah, so that was part 2 of Love is Blind, season 3, episodes 5 through 8, honey. It was a lot going on, but a lot of good, juicy stuff going on. I'm excited for this final part, so we can see who's getting married. And hopefully they have the reunion. Hopefully they don't try to do no live reunion, honey, because we saw how that went with Love is Blind. You were saying, honey, just get to the good stuff so we can move on with our lives. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What you thought about episodes 5 through 8. You know, who do you think is going to get married? Who do you think is not going to get married? What are your thoughts about Maria and her toxic mama and her just being all over the place with Valmir? Like, let me know y'all thoughts. And what do y'all think about Renan and Agata and her jealousy? And do y'all think he's going to stick around for it? I don't. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts. And as always, y'all, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna see y'all next time for, which I'm guessing is gonna be the finale and the reunion. Thank y'all so much for y'all support, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.
Hey, sister girl on films, you don't wanna miss a thing, better stay tuned in. So lay back, get into the vibe, in the mood, real reviews from a sister's point of view, trailer reactions, movies and TV, so entertaining and all.